Hello, 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 you guys, and welcome to another episode of Be Victorious. Of course, I sing, so I had to go ahead and throw in some vocals for that. I have a surprise for you guys. I went and visited a few of the podcasts that we had previously, and I had made mention that I was interested in getting a few therapists on here, and I actually have a twofer here. Not only do I have a therapist, I have a group of ladies who not only have an ACEs score, but they are using what they have to build their practice and have a practice, and they're doing their thing. Without further hesitation, I would like to introduce you to Imani and Nia Brown. Ladies, where are you?
Hi.
Southern twang, come get them, y'all. No, I'm playing. I love you guys. You already know that. And I thank you guys for being here on my podcast.
Yes, thank you for having us.
No
Yeah.
problem. So I have a question. So what we'll do is, Imani, I'll ask you first, and then Neil, you can follow up, or whoever wants to talk, you all can do that. I love that there's an open space, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about ACEs and everything that it involves. So who's going to be the first to tell me about their ACEs score?
I can go first.
Okay. What's your ACEs score, Imani?
I scored a 7.
Okay. Y'all hear that twang? I scored a 7. What's your ACEs score?
Mine was a 7 as well.
Okay. Okay. So you all know that it's just a place. It doesn't define you at all. This is just your score. These are things that we have all of us have experienced ACEs, but we all fit in different categories. So 7. Tell me more about your 7, Imani.
As far as, what I got that led me to a 7.
Yeah.
So, the quiz had a lot of different aspects to it. Addressing childhood trauma, in different ways that you were affected during childhood. So most of the questions I've experienced. So that's what led me to a 7.
And you did something about it. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Oh, you did. We don't go into detail. That's okay. Yeah. Tell us about your 7.
Um, well, mine is pretty similar to hers. Um, we experienced a lot of the same things because we were together through them. So most of the things I scored a yes on. I had some categories that I say was stuck out to me more than others. So I made a note of that.
Okay. Which category was that?
Well, of course, the one about if you had a family member or a household member that was in prison.
Mm.
And also where it was asking about, did you grow up in a household where you didn't experience or feel a lot of love or support?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
And it was like my answer to that was yes, but it was a little different than just what that question asked.
yeah. And I think the thing with the ACEs study or the ACEs quiz, it was just like a placemat too, just to see
Mhm.
how things are going. So like, say for example, household dysfunction is where I live. Let's be clear. There have been people that I've talked to that are heavy on the physical abuse, sexual abuse, or emotional neglect, but I'm heavy on household dysfunction. So I understand what you're saying, Nia, as far as that household prison or the family members. And that's the reason why there's the different categories that they have. So I always reach out to people and just to see where they fit as far as that. But for me, what drove me to you guys is the fact that you actually did something about it. So I'm going to start with Nia. What is it that you did to help you? What motivated you to
Um,
story?
well, growing up, we lived in a very rural area. We didn't have a lot of resources.
being kids with an incarcerated parent, there was definitely not a lot of resources for that, not a lot of mental health resources. So I knew at a young age that I wanted to get out of where I was at. And I knew that in order to do that, I needed to be successful. So I knew I wanted to go to school. I kind of bounced around on what I wanted to do. But as I got older, probably like in high school, I realized that like I wanted to use my story to like make a difference, because I knew then that I was going to do something. I knew I was going to be successful because I was determined to do that. So that's what led me to start that. My sister, she has always been like the one that's pushed me, and I kind of like always like followed after her, kind of. So we kind of talked whenever I was like in high school. She was in early college, and we said like, this is what we're gonna do. She's gonna start it, and we're gonna do it together. So that's really, I've really always known what the plan was. It's just been the process of, okay, you got to go to school. So it's just been getting to the point, honestly.
So big sister has represented and did her thing. And that's the reason why I had to ask, because I know you know that, Imani, that, Nia is doing her thing. But just to have that role model in a sister, a lot of people don't even have that. You know what I'm saying? So gotta give you your props for, leading that example and doing what you needed to do for your sister. What is it that you did? What is it that you did, Imani?
I did so much. I did a lot. So I'll start from the beginning. I have been a therapist since I was like 5 years old. So, and you would be surprised that naturally I didn't say that's what I want to do with my life, because I didn't always want to be a therapist. I started school in nursing. I started in a nursing program. I got a full ride to Chapel Hill, and I didn't like it. I dropped out during my first semester. A lot of people don't know that. I flunked out because I was depressed, and I didn't even know what depression was. I didn't know what I was going through. So, with, how can I say it, letting that opportunity go came a lot of judgment, a lot of doubt, like, oh, you were on that path and now you're not in Chapel Hill anymore. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to be successful? I never doubted myself though. Like, I always have a plan B and C. And, that led me to the illustrious North Carolina A&T, where I started nursing school, didn't get in. Right. And I said, what am I going to do with my life? Right. Because during this time, of trying to figure these things out, I'm going through depression, anxiety, anger from childhood, having that parent not in my life and seeing the effects of that. And through all of this failure, okay, I said, I don't like me. I don't like how I treat people. I'm starting to see the effects of how I treat people in my friendships, my relationships. So I need to do something about it. And I tell everybody, I take all the credit for introducing my family to mental health, because I was the first one that saw, okay, what we've been doing is not working and I don't want to continue this. So after me, my sister being my bestie for the restie, I was like, girl, we got to get this together. So we both need to be in therapy. And we did that. We did. And it really changed our lives. Like, once I started therapy, I changed my major to psychology. I started doing psychological research during undergrad. A&T flew me out to California to present my research, and I really fell in love with psychology. So, on top of what can I do that I feel will be contributing to society and I also enjoy, but I want to make money too, because I like living a certain way. I said, so an undergrad in psychology isn't going to do it. You can't do too much with it. And I've always been the type of person, I'm a hard worker, I'm going to get my bag, but I don't really like working for people. So I told my sister, I said, girl, we can't work for people forever. So what can we do to give back to the community, take care of ourselves, get up every day, enjoy doing it? And I said, we're going to start a business because I'm going to school for my master's, and I don't even have to be fully licensed to start the business. So once I get my master's and I start getting some experience, that's what we're going to do. And that's what we're doing right now.
Tell us about this business. First, before we talk about the business, somebody recently graduated. When did you
That
graduate?
was me in May. I graduated in May.
With a undergrad or a grad?
An undergrad.
An undergrad in what?
Yes, in my bachelor's of social work. Yes.
So we have a therapist and a social worker.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I like it. And you mentioned something about starting your own business. So what are you doing, ladies?
So we have started a private practice, and our private practice is different from most because we are super community focused. Like we haven't even really put too much emphasis on seeing individuals as we have, how can we give back to the community? So like we have a fundraiser, an Angel Tree fundraiser for children who are experiencing hardships during the holiday season because a parent or parents are incarcerated. And our goal is to raise enough money to supply Christmas gifts for at least 5 families. So like that's really the first major step that we've taken since we started our business. But we focus on children, teenagers, young adults who have experienced parental incarceration. And we also focus on adults re-entering society after experiencing incarceration. Like that's the focus. Of course, we serve everybody. We're for everybody, but we started this for that particular reason.
Wow. So that means you all have an organization and a business that not only helps out students, shall I say, but adults too.
Absolutely.
And these are students and adults with ACEs?
Yes.
Interesting. And you all are in North Carolina?
Yes, particularly Greensboro, North Carolina.
Interesting. I got to shout out LP. He's in North Carolina too. I'll make sure I connect you guys for sure. He is one of the ACEs advocates that I have. I've been mentoring him for a while, and he is in North Carolina doing his thing. I'm trying to get the word out about ACEs, so I'll make sure I connect you guys. But this is huge, ladies. So ACEs, we're talking about childhood traumas, we're talking about community. So you all are brand spanking new. And if I wanted to reach out to you guys, I don't have insurance. Like, what it that you all do? Like, help me, because I want in.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we are working on getting credentialed with insurance companies, and we plan to start accepting insurance late January, early February of next year, 2024. But as of now and indefinitely, we do offer a sliding scale based on income. We also we will be hosting bi-weekly focus groups at a rate of $15 per person, where you get those psychological interventions, and it's particularly for children who are experiencing parental incarceration, and for those individuals who are working on re-entering society. So we're excited about that.
Now, do they have to be in North Carolina, or can it be people across the United States?
So you do have to be in North Carolina because I'm licensed in the state of North Carolina, and our licenses are not transferable across states.
What about for like a focus group? Like, is a focus group for kids and then the adults? I mean, I'm asking seriously because I know that people are going to be asking these questions.
Right. So we'll have 2 weekly focus groups. Well, bi-weekly. One is for the children. The second one is for the adults, and they will be virtual. Now, we do offer virtual and in-person mental health speaking services. And in that instance, we're not giving clinical advice, but we're still talking about mental health. We're still giving you facts and information, and that absolutely you can contact us and get those services out of state, because we're not giving you clinical advice.
So you all are a resource.
Yes, ma'am.
Not only from the therapist point of view, but from the social worker point of view.
Yes.
Look at God. Because at the end of the day, I know you all know that mental health is at an all-time high. Y'all know that already.
Yeah.
I love that when you all are doing intake, you all discuss ACEs. So kudos to you ladies, because you all are putting that information out there. My job, again, is to educate. I don't want your jobs. I don't want social work. You can keep that, Nia. I do not want to be a therapist. So let me tell you, Imani, you actually have the same story. I started off as a nursing major too. You could cut it. Didn't want it. I knew my sophomore year in high school that I wanted the psychology aspect of it, because I like doing the research. So if you notice, what I've done is honestly the research aspect of it. My dissertation talks about adverse childhood experiences and its correlation to extracurricular activity. So we follow in the same footsteps. So I knew I was going to find you, look at God, because it was really the same thing. You really can't do anything with an undergrad in psychology. You cannot. No. So what I ended up doing is going to get my master's in teaching. And then from my master's in teaching, I got my doctorate degree. So I get it. I totally understand your story is similar, but I also want to say you all are first generation. Imani, you were the first from your family to graduate, correct?
No, I wasn't. My grandmother actually has her master's degree.
Okay.
My mother has a degree. My father has a degree, but so yeah, we weren't, really first generation.
But first, you were the first to cross over to the mental health field.
Yes, absolutely.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay. You still stand tall, because we need you. Mental health, again, for the 50,000th time, is at an all-time high. So Nia, what made you choose the social work aspect instead of the therapist aspect?
Well, ultimately, I want to do clinical work. But I didn't really know which part of social work I wanted to go into. I knew that starting out, I wouldn't just be able to just go straight into working with children or young adults with incarcerated parents. So I chose social work just from doing research and getting advice that it was more of like it was more broad. It was a lot more things that I could choose with that. So that was more of why I went that route. I really enjoyed undergrad, like the different classes and things like that. It's very similar to psychology, but it's just more focused on like the environment versus just the person and how they are cognitively. So that's why I chose social work. The work that I'm doing now, I enjoy. I just started a new position. I was doing foster care and adoptions, and I really enjoyed that. And now I'm working in guardianship. So I'm excited about this as well. I feel like it'll be easy to maintain while I'm obtaining my MSW degree. So yeah, I just felt like it was just more.
We already know you're going back to school for your master's degree.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'm proud of y'all, because at the end of the day, we need you. We do. We do. Nia, with you just recently graduating and things of that nature, it's a lot of people going into social work, but a lot of people leave it because it don't pay.
Mhm.
And Imani, I know you know what's going on. But I also want you both to know that you all are motivated by your ACEs. You're motivated by your stories. And that is what is the reason why I think for me, it was the fact that you all are catering to the community. So for people that don't have that insurance, you all are doing a sliding scale in meeting their needs. And you all need to be commended for that. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Because I think when people understand that and know that, then they'll know and maybe will consider therapy. So what do you say, Imani, to someone that is scared of therapy? What do you say?
It's a scary thing. It's probably the scariest thing that you will ever do in your life, because through therapy, okay, you really find yourself. And when you're finding yourself, you learn a lot, and you might lose a lot of relationships, friendships, habits, beliefs. So it's scary, but it's worth it. Like, if you feel like life is not doing what you want it to do and you want to make a change, you absolutely see that change. So, it's worth a try. It's uncomfortable, but comfort sometimes equals complacency. So
It happens. You all already know the cry for help, especially with our youth. So, Nia, would you be interested in going into schools and talking, or going into the schools as a social worker if asked?
Oh, well, definitely. That's actually a service that we're going to start implementing soon. We want to go into the schools and talk, and we want to do some workshops with like high school students that can like prepare them for college. So essay practice, just informing them more on their mental health and, the shock that comes with going from like a rural town and, everything to college. Also, like financial aid and working through that. A lot of stuff that growing up, whenever I was in high school, I needed and didn't have. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we're looking to implement soon. We've been reaching out to different schools and seeing about it so we can start doing that for sure.
You all are stellar. I the fact that you could tell that your passion and your purpose is there. You can tell that you all are driven by not just personal things that have happened, because you all are so focused on fundraising and giving into your community that it's going to come. I am a child of God. Trust and believe me, I'm doing the same thing. And it's going to work in our favor. You have to continue to stay focused, and you all have done that. Tell me, what can you do to the community differently that hasn't been done already?
well, from my perspective, I feel like our community, Black people in particular, shy away from therapy because of generational beliefs, a few other things. And I know that it's helpful for people like us to see people like us. Like, I have clients that tell me that all the time. Like, I've been looking for somebody who looks like me, who can understand me. And I know for me, that's what got me through therapy, because I have seen every kind of therapist you can think of, but it didn't work until I talked to somebody who knew and could understand what I was going through.
So is there a special type of therapy? Because there is Reiki, there is psychotherapy. What do you specialize in?
I specialize in person-centered therapy. I've been working in the mental health field since 2016, and every company that I worked at, the services were person-centered. So once I got into grad school and started learning about the different techniques, that directly resonated with me already. And then once I started doing it, my clients love it, because they're like, wow, you don't feel like a therapist. Like, I feel like I'm talking to my homegirl, or you just make me so comfortable. So that's what works best for me. And I enjoy doing it because everybody is unique. Like, I don't think you can use the same approach with every person.
And you can't.
Mm-mm.
Like that though, because again, I've had people on here that like holistic, different types. I've had a young man that shared his story, and he was saying he actually went out in nature and was talking to the animals and things of that nature. So again, there are different types for people. So I wanted to make sure, because people are going to come your way. I already know it. You just seem so down. Both of y'all just seem so down to earth. People are going to come you all's way. I'm telling you. Especially North Carolina UNC people are supportive. They support their people. Let's be clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had a few mentees that went to you. Let's be clear, graduated and everything. So they still loyal, talk, communicate, do everything. And I think that's what I love about, North Carolina being so student-centered and supporting their people, because I already know y'all gonna get a whole bunch of people once you get it together. And not to say that you all don't have it together now, because you definitely do. Your passion is already there. So parents, mom and dad were together. No, any more siblings?
We do have siblings. So our mom and dad were not together. We have a stepdad because, our dad was incarcerated. And from our dad, our biological father, we have how many siblings?
Yeah, it's 8 of
My
us.
book brothers are Rolling Stone.
Yeah, it's 8 of us all together.
I get it. I get it. You wouldn't even, honey, the story is what it is. My grandfather got married 8 times. So just imagine.
Yeah.
I get it. Not judging y'all at all, trust and believe me. His parents had 17 kids and they were married. So that's nothing out of the ordinary, right?
Right.
Because it happens. And we're not the only ones that this has happened to. I mean, I laughed and was clapping. Papa was the Rolling Stone, but somebody made the song because it happened.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, well, I'm glad you said it and made mention of it, so we can go ahead and make reference. Dad has you got a whole bunch of brothers and sisters out there somewhere, and I get it. Trust me. To me, I think this is aces, and I think this is the reason why we're having this discussion, because we're using that as our motivation. We're using that to get this information out here and do something about it. You're doing something about it is impacting your community. You're doing something about it, Imani, impacted your sister, and I'm sure the other siblings, are they following in similar footsteps or no?
a few of them are.
Yeah.
Okay. Imani, do you have siblings younger than you?
I'm the oldest girl, so I have 4 brothers that are older than me, and 3 sisters that are
younger. You set the tone though, as big sister.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Anything you guys want to share to people that don't want to share their story, that don't want to do anything about it? They just want to just hide it and put it under the carpet and all this other stuff. Anything that you all want to share to them?
I mean, I would just say that I was the same way, I had a lot of shame associated with my story originally. And until I started learning about mental health, I thought that a lot of the things that I went through were normal or okay. So I felt like I don't have any reason to speak up about it. So, gathering that courage to first take care of yourself and be able to identify those things before even thinking about sharing is really important. Like getting comfortable with your story, with you. And then it'll come naturally to want to share it because you won't feel the shame. Like you'll feel empowered from it.
Oh, do you all feel okay? Did I do anything? Did I say anything wrong?
No.
I say that because I'm probably the first person that kind of help people share their story, but it's the aftermath. You all are already doing this though. Just
Mhm.
imagine somebody not knowing about ACEs and then they
Right.
find out about it and then they start this healing journey. See, you all started your healing journey, and I'm sure you're continually working on your healing journey. So I'll ask this: what do you do, Nia, to heal?
Um, well, I go to therapy a lot. Um, I do a lot of like self-reflection and like self-assessing myself. Um, I work very hard and I put a lot of pressure on myself to like implement strong boundaries with my family, with my friends and work. Um, yeah. Um, I use my sister as someone to, like keep me in check, let me know when I'm like wrong. I do the same for her. Yeah.
You all educated yourselves, and here you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you do? What do you do to heal?
Therapy, 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 therapy,
Oh, wait
and
a
a lot
minute.
of self-care.
Therapist has a therapist?
Oh, when we were in grad school, they told us, like, as a therapist, you absolutely need a therapist because on top of, what made me become a therapist, I have to listen to, like 6 hours a day worth of traumatic things. And it's like, what do I do with all of this? So absolutely, I need a therapist. I think everybody needs a therapist.
Definitely.
And what I tell people, and I get it because everybody might not feel comfortable, I encourage extracurricular activity, meaning self-care. What are you doing for yourself? What are you doing? Because a lot of people don't want to go. I have to shout out my parents and I love them to death, but I mean, it was like hitting tooth and nail, and nope, they haven't did it yet, but why not? It's everybody else that is doing it. I've had other family members to say thank you for continuing to push me. I am going to therapy, so it'll happen. It will happen. I'm hoping one day my parents will do it, but for the people that are, they're doing it. So I agree with you 110% because it's needed. Do I go to therapy? Absolutely. I'm actually looking for another therapist. I go to therapy based on need, if that makes sense. So
Mhm.
the last therapist I had was a grief therapist. I am a recent divorcee. And so instead of going for ACEs, I actually went for grieving. My therapist recommended that I did the grief therapy because it was like a divorce. She was saying the divorce was like grief, somebody dying. And so it made sense when I did it. I'll be totally honest, I liked it a lot. I'm actually looking for another therapist for work, career, that type of thing. I'm
Mhm.
also, as you all both know, starting my business and doing what I need to do as far as the education. And I really think that this works in my favor because I get to meet wonderful people like you guys. I do. I do. I stalked them, y'all. I did. I found them and they believed me and listened. And here we are. But they also did their research and they know who I am. They know what I do. They see my purpose and they see the reason why we're here. And I want to thank you ladies. I want to know so you all said you go to therapy, but what do y'all do? Like, what extracurricular do y'all do? Tell me
We
something.
like to travel.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
travelers.
I knew it was gonna come out. Where's the last place you went?
We went on a cruise
Oh yeah,
to where we go? The Bahamas, yeah.
Rest and relaxation. Hey,
Yes,
nothing.
take that.
But remember, you guys, we can laugh and joke about it, but people don't do that at all. They don't really know
No.
what it is because there are the people out there that won't take that time out of their schedule to do that. So yeah, you better take cruises and do whatever you need to do. Any last thing, ladies, you want to share? Anything? What would you like to share? Imani, I'll start with you first.
I mean, I don't really have anything in particular to share. I guess I would just say that, you know, we want to be an example for people to see that you can fall down, you know, not just once, but several times. And, you know, your comeback can be even stronger. Like, it doesn't matter what you came from, you can be resilient through that because, you know, we've been through a lot. And look at where we are today. And, you know, I would just like to really thank you for having us, you know, and actually seeing us like you saw us. And a lot of people don't see us. So it feels good to be seen. I'm very appreciative.
And you are remarkable. And I feel like this, and hear me out. And then Nia, I'm gonna ask you the question. There's enough mental space, and enough for everybody in the mental health space. Let's be clear. I'm not in competition with nobody at all, because I just want to get this word out about ACEs. And to find out that you all know about it and you all are actually using it, congratulations, because there's people out here that don't know about it at all. I just premiered podcast episode 26. This young lady found out about ACEs last year, and she started her the Crow Hill Project, started it hands down, doing what she does. What they do is they educate doctors, psychiatrists, lawyers, because there's people out here with titles that don't even know what it is at all. And she's in the New York area. So just look at it from my perspective. She's in the New York area. You all are in North Carolina. I'm trying to get to people, period. My episode 20, it was a young man named Mick. He's an educator like me. He's over in the United Kingdom. So let's be clear. I'm trying to do whatever I need to do, because this is for real, saving lives. Just knowing about ACEs and knowing that you can heal, knowing that all of this stuff, yeah, let's be clear. So when I saw that that was what you all were doing, why not? And I'm telling you, you all are going to be blessed, because people need relatable people. Imani, you could tell. You can tell. And then Nia, you can tell. Social, oh my God, because people don't have that. Social work is not even in a lot of schools anymore. So I think once you all start continually looking and doing that, you all are going to get everything, especially the people from the community, because they need the relatable people to come and talk to them, to get them to understand that therapy is okay. They need the people to know, okay, well, what you all are doing for fundraising is the stuff that people really need. And so once they get that relatability and they get close to y'all, they're going to tell y'all everything. I'm telling you, it's going to be out there. So continue to do what you're doing and don't walk away from it. But I know y'all not, because your passions is there, your purpose. It's so many people being incarcerated right now. Let's be clear. It's a lot of people that's coming out of jail. Let's be clear. So there's your targeted audience. You know what to do. And then y'all stuck with me. So it is what it is, because I'm not contacting y'all, because I would love for y'all to mentor some of my mentees through my program, the Be Victorious Foundation. So we'll be in contact for sure. Nia, your turn. Anything you want to share?
I would just say that it's so important, again, to address all trauma, but specifically your childhood trauma. Learn some of those unhealthy habits that you may have seen or, you know, just grew up having. It's so important. It literally changed my life, my perspective on everything. And I'm just so excited and thankful that we can be a resource to young women and young men that are in similar situations. It's always easier to like go to someone that's experiencing something that you've experienced, even though everybody's stories are different. And then, like I said, there's not a lot of resources out here for children or young adults with incarcerated or formerly incarcerated parents. So I'm just looking forward to us doing our work and being of service to others. And I thank you for taking the time to get to know us and give us this time. Yeah. And I'm just excited.
I told y'all they were amazing. And thank you guys so much for using this space. I told you guys, it's just been an open, for some odd reason, and I thank the Lord for that it's been an open space where people feel comfortable sharing their stories, because everybody don't. And I think it's the fact that we develop that relationship and rapport so you can get that. It's us serving our passions. This is what we're supposed to do. So continue to do that, ladies. And I thank you so much. You guys, we're going to end on that positive note with another episode of Be Victorious. You all know, before I get off, where can they find you? Put all the information out there. All of it.
Yes, so you can visit our website at sistershealcc.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Sisters Heal Counseling and Consulting PLLC. Same name on Instagram. Is that the same name on Twitter, Nia?
That's
X?
not the same name on X.
It's not Twitter anymore.
It is Sisters Heal Counseling and Consulting, but it's abbreviated. So it's just SHCCPLLC. Yeah.
So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, not TikTok.
Yeah. We aren't on TikTok yet, but we will be on
coming soon.
Content. So watch out for it. It'll be on our Facebook page.
I'm excited. I'm excited to work with you. I feel like once you interview, we get to know each other. Y'all stuck with me. Sorry, it is what it is. We just gonna have to work together, because we have a mission, and our mission is to continue to educate. Our mission is to continue to support. And the fact that you all are heavy on your community, I love it. And I want to work with you guys. So I thank you so much for being here. You all know where to find me. I'm Be Victorious everywhere. Dr. Victorious is me. It's my story. I create victory in people, and this is just what it is. I can't help it. It's a part of my passion. So you can find me, Dr. Victorious, on Facebook. You can find Be Victorious on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok. I do a dance or two, let's be clear. Whatever it is to continue to educate on ACEs, this is what we do. I thank you guys again for being here. You guys, the listeners, the followers, don't forget to follow us all, and we will see you guys soon.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.